Everybody always says read books, and sometimes it actually feels like an agenda that they're trying to push, a way that they're trying to use to get my money or to fulfill their vain metrics, so just to keep the poor poor. But for a while, I started reading books and I started to wonder what was this whole agenda really all about. And a specific interaction I had with a particular man changed my perspective on reading books. This man was sincerely a man that I hated. And when I saw that he was one of the speakers for the event I was attending, I was like, oh God, why is this man coming to talk to us? And I could say that a lot of people in that event shared the same opinion with me because when he came up, nobody was necessarily really that excited. But the time came in the midst of this his talk, everywhere was quite silent. Everybody was listening. Everybody was captivated. And there are people that sincerely you don't need to really say, oh, this person reads, because sincerely, from the way they talk, you can sincerely just tell. A wise man once said that by their fruits you shall know them. I always thought that maybe reading books was going to somehow change your life in some kind of dramatic way, but it was not necessarily about trying to say that, oh yeah, everybody see I read, I read, I read. But actually, every single time when you talk, it becomes less of a talk but more of an experience. And every single time you interact with the book, before you run into the chaos of the world, you pour into yourself and you give yourself more room to think. You expand your lens beyond the narrow lens of your own life, but you have the ability to interact with other people's life and become a better person as a result of that. And so I read not necessarily because I believe that oh one day to change my life like they say, but I think it's all just about becoming a more rich person, a more rich personality as a result of just reading. It wasn't necessarily about telling people that oh I read this amount of books this year, but every single time I talk without me saying it, they would know I read because my talks become less of talks with more of experiences. And right now, I'm currently reading Start With Yourself by Emma Green, and I am really, really enjoying it because it's talking about the topic that I've really, really been looking at for quite a while. But what are you going to read this month? What are you going to read this week? Type that book down in the comments and watch how every single time you talk, it becomes less of a talk and more of an experience. So I hope I've convinced you, and if I'm not, I'll probably do a part two on why you should probably read more books. But reading books is never really about everybody else around you. It's more about you becoming more of a rich personality than just a passerby in your own world. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye. Be sure to subscribe.